Right, angle pairs. You did learn this in 8th grade.
We did?
Maybe you've forgotten it. Vertical angles and linear pairs. Again, used in almost everything throughout this book. Vertical angles are across from each other. Linear pair, linear means straight line. Let's go. So a linear pair, they're adjacent. Remember, that's next to each other, and form a straight line. So the picture you're going to see throughout the book most often is two lines that intersect, forms 4 angles. So if you had to name, from what I've told you, a pair of vertical angles,
1 and 2, 3. I mean,
1 and 3 are across from each other. And what's the other set? 2 and 4. So then if you had to name a pair of linear angles or a linear pair, what 2 angles could you put? 1 and 4 would work. 1 and 2 would work. 2 and 3 would work. And 3 and 4. Because a linear pair, I'll just pick one set. Here's angle 2, here's angle 3. Together they form a straight line. And they are adjacent to each other. Now, one thing that that's not going to be in this lesson, but it'll be in all the rest, is vertical angles. If you got 2 angles that are vertical, if this is 140 degrees and you had to guess what angle 1 is,
140.
140.
Just a lot.
So vertical angles are congruent. If you know one, the other one's the same. Okay? All right. Complementary and supplementary. Who remembers what those mean?
Yeah, right here. Supplementary is equal to 90 degrees.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Right, wrong. Other way around.
Right.
It's equal to 180. And complementary is 90.
Complementary adds up to 90. Supplementary adds up to 180.
50-50 chance.
0.5.
So an easy way to remember is, remember alphabetical. C comes before S. 90 comes before 180. Complementary, supplementary. Now, in this case, this angle and this angle, 1 and 2, they are a linear pair, but they're also supplementary.
Oh,
Okay.
would you look at that? Wow.
They don't always have to be just 2 angles. You could have 3 angles if you had a picture like this. There's 3 angles there.
Yeah.
They're all supplementary to each other. 1, 2, and 3 are supplementary because when you put them together, they make a 180.
It's like 180.
Okay. In this picture, it's kind of hard to see, but that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Angle 1 has a measure of 60. So, could you find the other 3 measures?
Yeah, he did.
3 is
So
60.
shizzle.
3 is 60,
Uh-huh.
Another 120.
120,
And the other one's like
120. Vertical angles are congruent.
Uh-huh.
Linear pairs add up to 180. And what would they add up to, all 4 of them?
360.
360 circle.
3, 6,
Now we get to the algebra. So again, the only algebra you do in all of geometry is like yesterday's, where they're equal to each other, or today's, they may add up to 180. So in this case, we want to find x and y. Here's the x, and there's the x. Here's the y, and there's the y. You can only solve one at a time. So, what do I know about those 2 angles right there?
They are supplementary.
They're supplementary. they add up to 180 degrees. So that's your equation. 2x plus 5 plus 4x minus 5 has to equal 180. Then you just got to solve the equation. Combine the x's. Remember, they're on the same side, so you don't do the opposite. 6x. What happens when you combine those? They cancel. 6x equals 180, so divide by 6 and you get 30. Then, to find y, what do you know about these two angles? They also add up to 180. So there's your equation. 3y plus 5 plus 7y minus 25 has to equal 180. Again, combine the y's, they're on the same side. Combine the numbers, negative 20. And then solve it. Add 20. Divide by 10. And you would get 20. So now this one again, I told you gotta watch what they're asking for. Usually they just have us find x and y, which they said here, but then it says then find the angle measures. So you just gotta plug them in.
Just gotta find one.
If I put 30 in here, 2 times 30 is 60 plus 5 is 65 degrees, which means this one has to also be, right?
What?
Yeah.
Because they're vertical.
And then the other ones will be 115.
But they're greater than
3 times 20 is 60 plus 5. Oh, I did the wrong one, didn't I?
yeah.
Shit.
Cause the 60 foot or the other one.
This one is a mistake. They got them switched around.
Yeah.
This one should have been down here
Yeah.
because these are the 65.
Oh, this
Those
is
are less,
huge.
those are less than 90.
They got these two switched around. This one should have been 65 and 65. So then here, when I put 20 in, I get 140 minus 25 is 115. Okay. If angle 2 is 52, find the rest of them.
52.
Angle 1 equals angle 3, and angle 4 equals
Angle 2.
2, which is 52, right?
Yep.
So then 3 would have to be 128, right?
Shit.
Just take 180 minus 52,
You can't do it.
so you could just write it this way. 1 equals 3 equals 128, angle 4 equals 52. These, you gotta write an equation.
Oh,
This plus this equals 180.
they're all 90. Let's just say that.
We could just say they're all 90. That'd be smart.
So when you solve it, combine the x's, there's 12 of them. The 6 and the positive 6 or negative 6 cancel. So divide by 12. And you get, the other class said you guys got calculators now on your iPads?
No.
Yeah,
I
you.
do.
Yeah, they're in
You do?
self-service.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So when you write these down to solve them, you could save some time. Just combine them right away. You know you're adding these two together, so just combine the like terms. 9y's plus 8y's is 17y's. Negative 3 plus a negative 4 is a negative 7. So there I added them together, they gotta add up to 180. So, add 7. Divide by 17, 11. Now, they don't always add up to 180. If you had a picture like this, if you had this picture, what would your equation be? What do you know about these two angles?
They're the same.
They're equal. So then you would say
Oh, so
2x plus 4 equals 12. 12x minus 6, and then you solve it just like the equation we solved yesterday. In all the geometry, they're either going to add up to equal 180, sometimes 90, or they're going to be equal to each other. Those are the only two types of equations you got to solve. Okay, on a clock, obviously it's 360 degrees around, right? A half from 12 to 6 is?
180.
From 12 to 3 is?
90.
So then what would just a 5-minute interval be?
30.
30, 60, 90. 30, 60, 90, right. The quicker way is you could have just took 360 divided by 12, right? I think there's just like 4 problems like this on the assignment. They give you a picture like this and you just say, are the hands or the angles formed by them complementary, supplementary, or neither?
Neither.
If I take this angle and put this angle on it,
Yes, so that's complement.
complementary.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because this is 60 and this is 30. They add up to 90.
That's really.
So how about these two?
So, no.
Neither.
Neither. That's 120 and this is 120. Remember, every 5 is 30 degrees.
Supplementary.
Supplementary. This angle and that angle, 150, 30. Now, these questions, they're just talking about complements and supplements. M is a complement of N, and M is 63 degrees. So what would the measure, remember the little m means the measure of angle N be?
60.
You take, since it's complement, you would take 90 degrees and subtract out the
37.
angle, you know. C is a supplement of D, and C is 109.
Oh, so 1.
Supplement's 180, so take 180 minus 71. Now, if they give you a trick like this, if you've got a 110 degree angle, and they say, what is the supplement? What's the supplement to this angle?
Oh, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70.
70. Because supplement means they gotta add up to 180. If they ask what is the complement
20.
to this angle,
Negative 20.
There's nothing.
there is none. Because it's already over 90. You can't have a negative angle. Okay?